some of you have been there on a field trip when you were very young. This deep, dark, extraordinary cavernous space playing a scene in Harry Potter in the role of Dumbledore. The very first thing I did before I'd spoken a single line was to slip on a wet rock and sprain my knee. Therefore, I've been carrying this cane around with me. It allows me to give you your very last lesson, you graduates, as students of LAMDA. Find a good prop and use it wisely, particularly if it's a cane. Nothing elicits more sympathy, brings an audience to you better than a cane. What's I doing in a cave in Devon? Well, in fact, I've been down there all week on the beaches of Finance Cove in Cornwall, where a paparazzi happened to snap my photograph. I would ask you to picture this moment, but you don't need to. It's online everywhere in the last 48 hours. Apparently playing Dumbledore is a great big thing. Well, I was there for 5 days, and every day things slipped later and later and later. I became so anxious, I was afraid that I was not going to be able to be here today. In fact, I got to the point where they scheduled an all-night shoot last night, and I definitely knew I will not be able to get here by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But then, like the sun coming through the clouds, they caught up. I managed to finish by 6 p.m. They wrapped me a little early, and I think it was in sympathy. I got into a car, raced to London. I was here by midnight, and here I am. I was probably going to have to cancel. I wrote a letter for Patricia to read, and she would have done a far better job accepting this award than I, this great actress. But here I am. I can read this letter to you today. And I thought, I didn't want to speak entirely off the cuff. This is too dignified an occasion. I will simply have... This way I have something written down and I can read it to you, so here it is. My acceptance speech for this really wonderful honor that really and truly means so much to me, especially in the company of all you wonderful graduates. Woo! I say to just about every young actor I meet who comes up and introduces himself or herself, I bet we work together someday. And about a dozen actors over the years have said that I told them that when they were very young. Well, you guys, I bet we work together someday. Here's my letter. To all my LAMDA friends, and especially you current grads who may be there today. It's all conditional. I'm writing this letter to you on Tuesday night, September 7th. That was a typo. It's October 7th. In Coverack on the south coast of Cornwall. I'm here for 6 days of shooting on the new Harry Potter series for HBO, which was recently moved a few days later in our schedule. I sincerely hope you do not hear this letter read aloud. If you do, it will mean that the film crew down there didn't wrap early enough for me to race back to London and join you today. With luck, I'll be right there at the Bridge Theatre, spouting the thoughts in person that I'm writing now. It's actually worked out just right. Mainly, I want to tell you how thrilled I am that Mark O. Thomas and the rest of LAMDA's leadership have chosen me to follow my two friends, Dame Harriet Walter and David Oyelowo, in receiving this honor. the three of us share the equally great honor of being LAMDA alumni. I can honestly say that the work I've done on every role I've ever played on stage has been informed by the training I received at LAMDA in my single D group year of 1967. Nearly 60 years ago. There have been seismic changes. There have been seismic changes in how theater is perceived and executed since those days, but the verities remain. And LAMDA honors and sustains those verities. This great school strengthens and seasons young actors, brings out the best in them, and instills in them a deep respect for the mysterious ritual of telling stories from the stage. My recent run of Giant at the Royal Court and at the in the West End, with another run to come on Broadway next year, is my most recent case in point. I played Roald Dahl, a role which in Mark Rosenblatt's remarkable new play is as many-faceted as Quicksilver and as physically and emotionally draining as anything I've ever done on stage or off. Before every show, I warmed up with the cast in the empty theater. Every single time, my exhaustive and exhausting classes in the drafty studios of the old powerhouse at Earl's Court and Cromwell Road came vividly back to my mind. I did Giant 8 shows a week, 178 times, and never missed a performance, nor even strained my voice. And I have never roared so loudly. And at the risk of tilting over into flat-out self-congratulation, I might add that I turned 80 years ago, a week from today. Happy birthday. Boastful? Oh yes, indeed. But what I'm boasting about is my LAMDA training. And if I'm boastful, it's because I'm so proud of it. You should be equally proud. I wish you lots of work in the future, but more importantly, I wish you joy. There's nothing better than the pure joy of reaching people through the medium of theater. And nothing could have primed you better for achieving that joy than your days at LAMDA. Again, I hope this letter is never read aloud. Much love and thanks from a deeply grateful alumnus, John Lithgow.